Hello. Today what we are going to study is called as low pressure measurement. Okay. We are under the topic pressure measurement, and in pressure measurement we are going to study low pressure measurement. So before starting what do you mean by low pressure measurement, I will like to tell you what do you mean by low pressure. Okay. So any pressure, okay, below the vacuum, okay, is called as low pressure, or vacuum pressure is called as low pressure. First thing to know. Okay. And the device, or I can say vacuum pressure, is nothing but a low pressure. Or we can say that the device used to measure low pressure or vacuum pressure. Okay, device used to measure low pressure or vacuum pressure is called as vacuum gauge. Okay, simple as that. Now, what is the units to measure the low pressure? Okay, the common used units are, I'll just write it for you, torr and micrometer. Okay, now we don't have mm of hg. Okay, the most basic unit is torr or micrometer. Now I'll explain you what do you mean by one torr. Okay, one torr is equal to 1 millimeter of mercury. Okay, keep it as simple as that. Okay, so one torr is equal to 1 mm of hg. So if you want to write like 760 mm of hg is there, so that means 760 torr. This will be very high vacuum pressure. Okay, this will be very high vacuum pressure. You don't get vacuum pressure up to 760 mm of Hg. Okay, you will never get it. So one torr is equal to 1 mm of Hg, and one micrometer of vacuum pressure will be equal to 10 raised to minus 3 torr. Okay, or you can say 10 raised to minus 3 mm of Hg will be equal to 1 micrometer. Simple as that. Okay, now since we have understood what we are going to do, we are going to measure vacuum pressure. Okay, and we know the units of vacuum pressure, and we know the device that is used to measure vacuum pressure is called as vacuum gauge. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain you there are two methods to measure vacuum pressure. How many methods? Two methods. Okay, one method is called as direct method, and the other method is called as indirect method. Now I'd like to elaborate what do you mean by direct method and what do you mean by indirect method. So what happens in direct method? Okay, like when the pressure is applied, suppose there is an elastic transducer and pressure is applied to elastic transducer, just like what we did in normal pressure measurement or high pressure measurement. When pressure is applied to elastic transducer, what does the elastic transducer do? I will say like what happens, like what are the elastic transducer, if you remember? Bellows, diagrams. I hope everyone remembers this. Okay, these are the various elastic transducers. Various. We have studied at least three, right? Board and tubular is also there. If you remember, we have studied three times. So whenever the pressure is applied to elastic transducer, and it converts, okay, and or you can say it leads to displacement. Okay, displacement, which is actually proportional to the pressure measure. Remember? Yeah, which is actually proportional to pressure measure. Okay, this is called as direct method. What happens in direct method? Pressure is converted to displacement with the help of some kind of an elastic transducer. Okay, and that is calibrated back to the pressure value. Simple as that. Okay, so this type of method are called as direct method. Now I'll explain you what do you mean by indirect method. Okay, in indirect method, the pressure that is to be measured, okay, is not measured directly in terms of displacement. Pressure to be measured okay, is in relation to the properties, okay, okay, in relation to the properties of fluid or anything, okay. Pressure to be measured is related to properties of fluid that is used for measuring, okay, that is used for facilitating measurement, okay. Such kind of method is called as indirect method. Like what I am trying to explain you, what are the properties of fluid. Suppose we are using mercury, okay, to measure the pressure of a gas, okay. When we are using mercury, we know that mercury will have some kind of volume, okay. Whatever is the volume change of the mercury, it will be proportional to pressure of the gas. For an example, I'm saying, okay, or the pressure of fluid that you're going to measure. So when you're trying to compare something with respect to, you can say the property of another fluid, which is helping you or which is facilitating you the measurement of the main fluid. Okay, this is your fluid. Okay, this is your fluid and this is your reference fluid. Okay, now the pressure is measured with respect to the volume of the reference fluid. Okay, suppose in our case I assumed it to be mercury. Okay, and then this is calibrated, this value, volume, whatever the volume change which is proportional to mercury is calibrated back to the pressure value. Such kind of measurement is called as indirect measurement. Here displacement is not a means to measure the change in the pressure. Here volume, or you can even say thermal conductivity for an example. Okay, I'll just give an example. Like the heat, okay, like volume is there, or we can even take it with respect to heat or thermal conductivity. Okay, so the thermal conductivity or the property of the material is changing. Okay, so the thermal conductivity, it will be helping you to get the value of the unknown pressure that you want to measure of your fluid. Okay, simple. Okay, such kind of methods are called as indirect method. They are also called as inferential method. What do we call it as? Inferential method. There are two names for that. One is direct method, another is inferential method. Okay, what are the commonly used direct or inferential method? Like what we are going to study today will be actually relevant to, okay, that will be actually relevant to indirect method only. Okay, so vacuum gauge that we are going to study, okay, those will be using inferential method only. Okay, what are those inferential method or indirect methods? Like what are the devices that are used to measure the vacuum gauge by inferential method? One of the device is called as McLeod gauge. It was in the name of the scientist called Herbert McLeod. He invented this device. That's why it is called as McLeod gauge. It actually uses manometer concept. Remember, it uses manometer concept to measure the vacuum pressure. Simple as that. Okay. Now, another type that is there in our syllabus that we need to study is McLeod gauge. Another is ionization gauge. Okay. And one more is thermal conductivity gauge. These are the three types of vacuum measurement gauges that we use typically to measure the vacuum pressure. One is McLeod gauge, another is ionization gauge. The third one, what I said, is thermal conductivity gauge. Okay, thermal conductivity or thermocouple gauge, you can say. Thermal conductivity or thermocouple gauge. Simple. Okay. So we have understood what are the basic types of vacuum pressure measurement. Okay, and what do you mean by vacuum? How do you measure vacuum pressure? Okay, what do you mean by indirect method? What do you mean by inferential method? Then what are the different types of inferential methods used to measure the vacuum pressure? Okay, yep. Thank you.